So we're making great progress here in building out your listing, aren't we? Now we're going to talk about images, product images, and specifically how to make winning images that pertain to getting the impulse buyers to actually buy winning images. So you've got your great product, but do you have great product images? Now I already showed you this in a previous video. This is just a quick summary of this. The eye flow of the impulse purchaser, again, they're going to look briefly at the title, and then they're going to bounce over to number 2, which is the images, the main images, and then the 6 inner images. Okay, so as you can see here, the third section is the bullets, and then they go down to the review. So I just am showing this again to emphasize and reemphasize how vital the images are towards moving somebody forward to actually buying. The images should tell the complete product narrative, the marketing story. Yet people look at images of their product as an afterthought. So let's talk about how to do this right. And the importance of the product images on Amazon are vital. So why are images so important? And the answer is because impulse buyers feast on good product images because their buying mode thrives on eye candy. The impulse buyer tends to be very visual. They will make a buying decision sometimes solely based on those images in order telling a certain story. So let me give you a good way to look at how you should think about your images. Your product images should be thought through and designed as if you are making a TV commercial storyboard. So this is an actual this is what a commercial storyboard actually looks like. And you can see that logically it tells the story from left to right. So the guy's standing in front of the car. He's squirting the car cleaner onto the rag. He's wiping it on. It's super easy to use. Now the car is shining and he's standing there holding the product. He's showing how easy it is to rub into the car, how the result is you can actually see your reflection in the car and boom, buy the product. So what if we designed your product images in the same marketing-oriented TV commercial storyboard format as opposed to just like, yeah, I don't know what to do with my images. Let's just take a bunch of random pictures. What if instead, even if there was no text, just pretend there was no title, no bullets, somebody could only make their buying decision based on the TV commercial storyboard, aka the 7 images. That is how we need to approach this. And that's exactly what we do and how I teach my students. So let me actually walk you through this fairly easy, but also, I believe, kind of profound approach to coming up with those super profitable images for your Amazon listing. I call it the caveman method because it uses nothing more than a stack of index cards and a pen. And it's so devoid of technology, even a caveman would feel comfortable using this. Now, let me just give you context. Remember, you've just written your listing. We just covered that on the last video. So all the salient benefits, the features, the language of the market, the special product attributes are top of mind right now with you. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to grab this blank stack of index cards. Okay, you're going to open up that spreadsheet that I walked you through in the last video, the how to write a listing spreadsheet. So you have all of your product attributes on there, all the benefits already thought through. And then what you're going to do, you're going to grab a stack of like 15 to 20 of these index cards. And on one side only, you're going to write on one side of the card the 15 to 20 most persuasive, the best, the most salient, benefits, one per card, only on the face, only on one side. All right. So 15 to 20 of the best of the best of the best. And then just let this cards cool off. Literally set them aside, go take a walk, maybe look at them the next morning. You need a little mental space because sometimes when you're knee deep in doing something, you're like too close. And here's what I mean. So let's say you're going to wait till the next morning, you've let them cool off and, you give a little time in between. And now you're going to grab that stack of these 15 to 20 index cards that you've written on. And now is the tough part. You're going to force yourself to reduce them down to just the best 7. Like I call them the monster benefits. That just means the greatest benefits of those 20, what are the best 7? You're going to set all the other index cards aside, and you're only left with 7. Okay? Why 7? Well, that's how many images that we get to use in our listing. And then you're going to put these in logical order, in a logical sales or marketing flow, as if you are crafting a TV commercial. Okay? So again, this is all a logical product narrative that we're building, only using just visual images. Are you with me so far? So just to summarize, I just want to make sure that you get this. You're going to have your spreadsheet opened where you did all of your listing copywriting with your benefits, your features, all that stuff. Okay? That's just for like a point of reference. Then you're going to write down the best 15 to 20, the most salient benefits, 1 per index card. Then set them aside for several hours or overnight. So then with fresh eyes, you wake up and now you're going to do the hard work. You're going to like force yourself to edit those down. Well, not edit, but reduce them down to just 7 out of the 20. Set the rest aside so you're just left with 7. Now remember, on the front, you have 1 benefit. And guess what we're going to do? On the back of each benefit, on the back of the index card, you're going to write down what image would best represent the text that I wrote on the front. Like, in other words, what it would be the best visual representation of that benefit. So if you take a look at the screenshot, on the front, one of my benefits was keeps car tires looking shiny and clean 5 times longer. Well, what would be a visual and graphical representation of that benefit? Well, the image would be show a man spraying the tire cleaner onto the tire and show it sparkling, right? That would tell that product narrative very clearly. So now what I want you to do is take each of these 7 monster benefits, your best benefits. They're in order, logically, as if you're going to write a direct mail sales letter, right? So first the product does this, and then it does this, and the reason why it does that is this and this and this. Now it won't actually read that way, but you put the 7 index cards in the logical sales flow, as if you're going to do face-to-face selling, and then you're going to flip each over and write down what image would best represent the text benefit that's on the front. See how easy this is? I've done this for some of the most challenging products you can think of, and it's never failed to produce an outstanding result. But it's so simple, this approach. That's why I always joke, this is the caveman approach. And what you end up with now is you have the 7 best benefits that are represented in logical flow in a visual way. The 7 best images in order to best represent and act as a spotlight for the 7 most important benefits for that product. Pretty cool, right? So there are 2 different general types of images that you're going to want in your listing. The first we call like the product feature or the attribute type images, right? Which like this is a great example of one. And this is a great example, by the way, of one of the benefits would be, this thing is waterproof, airtight. And then on the back of your index cards, you would write, show the Bluetooth speaker being dunked underwater, right? You don't have to have any text. You get what this means when you see that image, and it tells the product narrative. So that's the first type. This is where you bring to light in a visual way a product feature or an attribute, okay? The second type is what we call lifestyle images. And you can see this girl's gone hiking, and she's cranking some tunes while she's enjoying nature, and you can see she's hooked on the speaker to the back of her backpack, and it also shows as a reference point the size of it. And so the great thing about lifestyle images is that people step into those pictures and they see themselves and they visualize themselves using the product like the person featured. So you want both. Lifestyle images are very, very powerful indeed. All right. Now, so I just taught you the super simple way of how to come up with your high converting images that will work like crazy for your listing. And frankly, the reason why it's easy at this point is because you already did the heavy lifting, the hard thinking in the previous video where I taught you how to think about and construct all these product features, benefits, and the attributes. Okay, so this now bleeds into making this step way easier. You just need a stack of index cards. Then you reduce them down to 7. Then you flip them over and you put what image would best represent the benefit, the text benefit that I wrote on the front. Boom, you're off to the races. And I just am showing you this slide so you keep in mind that you want both types of images. You want a lifestyle image as well as a product feature type of image like you see here. Now let's talk about how to actually create these cheaply and easily. And I'm going to give you some higher price options, and I'm also going to give you some cheap options. So this is the cheap option. You can literally use your iPhone. And by the way, the iPhone has a fantastic camera in it, along with what's called a product shadow box, okay? I'm going to show this to you right now, the product shadow box. Whoops. And this is the one that I bought. It is about $110, and it's very, very simple. This is one I have in my basement. And you can see what it does here is you hold your iPhone and you put your product here, and it makes a nice white background type of image. So you can just see how this kind of works. And it's designed for smaller products, obviously, and it works perfect for Amazon type products, okay? And it's by My Studio. Again, I'll just leave this up for a second. I'm not going to have a link to this underneath the video because I don't want everyone to just, not watch the video, click this and just buy it and think they need it. But this is like a, how to have a ghetto photo studio in your basement if you want. And you might remember, but on one of the previous videos, I talked about how me and Jason in 1 month sourced something like 42 or 47 products. I can't remember the exact number at this point. And obviously I couldn't afford to go like deluxe pro leagues photos and hire somebody to take that hundreds of photos for all these products. So this is my method. I literally just spent about 2 hours. I put the product on there, I held it, I did some different angles, and then I made sure I went up into my kitchen and I took lifestyle photos, or I went outside and I took lifestyle photos. It was very, low budget, but it did the job, at least for the first iteration of the images. And this is exactly how I did it. And I just want to show you some pictures. So this is one of the products here that we sourced. They were some measuring spoons. And I just took this right in that same product photography box with my iPhone, if you can believe it. I mean, I think it looks pretty good. It's good enough for the first version, the first iteration of your Amazon images. And here's another one. Okay. And these are the actual images that we used. I mean, that's just a close-up, but I did it right in that product photography box. Laid it right down in there, took this photo. Some close-ups. And this is a lifestyle photo. And there were some other ones, I showed, like the products in use. But that's just to show you, I'm not saying that this is the best way, the ultimate of what you should do. It's just representative of some of the pictures that I took using a simple iPhone and that product photography box. Now, another trick here is this website called Remove My Background, okay? And what this site does is it'll take your Amazon images, and for a low fee, let's see what they're charging now. And this might change at the time of this recording here, right? But you can see it's very, very cheap, $1.20 per image. And basically what it does is it'll take your image that might have some background to it, and these guys are probably using Photoshop, and they are experts at just removing the background so that you have a compliant picture. Just so you know, the main image on Amazon has to be white background. Now you may see some listings where the first image, just the first image, has to be white background. I'll just show you some examples here. This is that Bluetooth speaker. You can see it is white background. Here's another one. You can see it's white background, okay? So that main image absolutely has to be white background to be compliant, okay? So that's a great website. Remove My Background, very inexpensive. They will literally do exactly what it says. I don't know how to explain it any better than if you have some background color or whatever, it'll remove the background to make the main image compliant. All right, so if you want some basic product photography, I've actually used Smart Product Shots in the past. At the time of this recording, and Murphy's Law, I'm sure they'll update their prices like the day after I release this, but it's about $40 per photo, and it's all white background. They only do the product photography. None of these services that I'm aware of, I've never found one of these type services that will do lifestyle photos. They just, I don't know why they don't do it. They should do it, but they don't. So these two websites, smartproductshots.com, you just ship them your product. You can specify how many different pictures you want. They have a very professional white background set up in their studio, and they take a bunch of great photos and they touch them up and they upload them, and then you just pay per photo. And then productphotography.com, it does the exact same thing. They're a little bit more expensive, but a little more polished. This is probably the best service if you want professional level product shots done. So this is the type of thing that I do nowadays with all my products. I would never spend this kind of money if I was going to, release 47 products in a month, because it just doesn't warrant it. But if you're at a pace of like one product a month, one product every other month, and you want lifestyle pictures, I mean, you can see how great this image looks. These guys understand Amazon, and they offer these packages where they will do very professional, insanely good looking inner images, lifestyle images, and then your main image with white background. So I can't recommend these guys highly enough. They're called Pixel Perfect Photos, and you'll find the link, and you want to use the link because it'll take you right to the correct page. You'll find it underneath this video. Again, this is more expensive, so don't hit the panic button if you're like, oh, I don't want to spend that kind of money. That's fine. That's why I gave you the cheap and easy options. But if you really want to do this right, I just wanted to give you a resource for this, okay? Called Pixel Perfect Photography. So now you know how I create epic product images. I gave you the roadmap. I wish I could make it more complex, but I really can't. It is that simple, and you've already laid the good groundwork because of the work that you put in the previous video, thinking through all these product attributes, the benefits, the features, and it'll bleed into making this, the caveman index card method so easy. And I just want to leave you with one thought. Just never forget that you want to organize them and take images very similar to what you're doing if you were going to do a TV commercial storyboard. Let the images tell that product narrative. And now it's your turn to go create some epic images for your product.